We're going to test the potency of killing a mangler with Napalm Blast. So here we go. I'm not going to shoot the critical spot because I want to see what it does, because you shoot... Oh, well, and we turn it. Cool. Nice. Well, that was effective. So let me do a real quick grind around 50, and I will be right back, boys. All right, we're back, boys, after a quick journey to round 50. So we're back on round 50 for the second time for this video, but this time we're using the correct ammo mod. We're using tier 5. All right, and welcome back, guys. It's time for another tier 5 review. If you guys are new to this series, essentially we're going over every single skill in Cold War Zombies, reviewing it tier 5, see if it's worth using, worth buying, all of that good stuff. And in this video, we're going to be doing the last ammo mod. We have not done Napalm Burst. We reviewed every other ammo mod to this point, and we're going to go ahead, finish off Napalm Burst, and we'll have reviewed every single ammo mod. Now, starting off, bullets deal fire damage. Each bullet has a chance to apply a burn effect on normal enemies, dealing 10% of their maximum health and fire damage over 5 seconds. Then tier 1, initial burn effect deals 5% of the enemy's maximum health and damage. Tier 2, increase burn duration to 10 seconds. Tier 3, double burn effect damage. Now the new stuff from season 2, special enemies can now be burned. And then tier 5, on a burned enemy kill, the enemy explodes, spreading the burn effect to 5 nearby normal enemies. Now I'm extremely curious to test this out, because before season 2, Napalm Burst was the best ammo mod for grinding camos. However, with the cryofreeze buff, cryofreeze kind of took the spotlight over. And I definitely feel like at this point in time, Napalm Burst is the most forgotten about, untalked about ammo mod in the entire game. I constantly hear people talk about brain rot, cryofreeze, deadwire, even shatter blast sometimes, but I feel like Napalm Burst never gets mentioned or talked about pretty much ever. Do you guys want to hear something funny? I just did a bunch of testing, got to around 50, got a bunch of footage, probably spent about 4 hours recording it, 3 hours editing it, went to go make the thumbnail and realized I never upgraded Napalm Burst. It's still tier 3. The whole video was about, oh, this is broken. It doesn't do what it says. It's not burning special enemies. And on top of that, the tier 5 effect, not working either. Yeah, and then I went to go make the thumbnail. Turns out I never bought tier 4 and I never bought tier 5, which explains why in the video that I made, that's like 15 minutes long, shows that Napalm Burst didn't work. Turns out, oh, it does work. I probably should buy the upgrade. So now we're going to go and re-record this, boys. All right, boys, now we're loaded into FIREBASE-Z. The reason we're doing FIREBASE-Z is because the fire damage affects special enemies, and I want to be able to test that out, and, you know, the best way to get fire damage is on FIREBASE-Z. Also, the elite enemy type that is weak to Napalm Burst is the manglers. The manglers are already pretty easy to kill if you shoot their cannon, so I don't really know if Napalm Burst is, you know, gonna make it too much better in terms of killing them quickly, but at least we'll be able to kind of test out, you know, what elite enemies are weak to Napalm Burst. But I gotta go ahead and get the points to be able to get Napalm Burst, get set up and all that stuff so we can start doing our testing. So while I do that, if you want to sub, I would greatly appreciate it. We're less than 3K subs away from 50K. That is absolutely freaking ridiculous. Last year, if you would have told me we'd be 3K subs off 50K in April, I would have asked if you were okay. Like, I would have been like, are you okay? But here we are. We're 3K subs off 50K, boys, and it's only April in this point of the year. That's absolutely insane. And once again, I gotta give a huge thanks to everyone in the like and comment club. The people who leave a like and comment on every single video. You guys are absolutely insane. I appreciate you guys so freaking much. Liking, commenting, and watching the whole video help out this channel so freaking much, and it's part of the reason we're growing so quickly, boys. And in this video, we're using the Maxis AK-7 bundle with DM Ultra. I think it looks hilarious. This is such a weird combination. You've got the reactive skin, and it's got, you know, that's just tiny bit of DM Ultra in the front. So if you're curious, this is the Maxis Reactive AK-7 with DM Ultra that we're currently using in this video. I do have a full video on my channel showing both weapons in this bundle, the Spaz and the AK-7 with every mastery camo in the game. It shows it with like Plague Diamond, Dark Aether, like pretty much every single camo you can see on this variant. If that's something you're interested in, I'll leave that linked in the description below. With that being said, let me go ahead, get set up so we can start testing this bad boy out. All right, boys, so as you can see, it's round 8, and if we go to ammo mods, you can see that it now has a 5 here instead of a 3 after recording that entire original video. So now let's go ahead and test it out. So as we can see here, the first thing I want to test out is if we can activate it on a mimic. I don't know why it hasn't activated. It should be able to activate the fire. I mean, we're pretty much going to kill this thing before we activate it. Oh, I don't know. I think we did activate it. So one of the things is now if we catch a zombie on fire, it should be able to explode and spread to 5 nearby zombies. Oh, and it actually did it. As you can see, there's 3 zombies that are now on fire. From that, and that's got a 30-second cooldown unless we buy elemental pop, which will take that down to a 50-second cooldown. This was the one thing that I tested so much in the last video, and I just couldn't get it to work. And I mean, I spent like 40 minutes like, dude, this is just not working. So if he dies, all right, hold on. If this guy dies that's on fire, he should then spread the fire effect to 5 surrounding zombies. Might need to give him a little help to die. Oh, but holy crap. Yeah, you can definitely notice that. That is definitely a lot more helpful than what I originally thought it was, because I could not freaking get that to work. But with that being said, we're gonna break down the testing into 3 different parts, because there's 3 different types of things ammo mods can be good at. First, we're gonna test its ability to camp. When the game first came out, Napalm Burst was the single best ammo mod for camping and getting critical kills because it didn't steal your kills. However, cryofreeze with the buff has kind of taken over its place in that spot. We're going to test it out, see how good the tier 5 ability is for camping. Then we're going to test how good this ability is at training. As you guys know, Deadwire and some other ammo mods are really good at killing a bunch of hordes at a time, and we're going to see if that spreading to 5 nearby enemies is any good for training up and shooting into hordes of zombies. Then I'm going to go to round 50 and see if this ammo mod can carry us on round 50. Very few ammo mods can do that. Right now, the only 2 ammo mods that can carry any weapon on round 50 are Shatter Blast, and Turn can somewhat carry you on round 50, but Cryofreeze 100% cannot carry you on round 50. So we're gonna see if it's as good as Deadwire when it comes to round 50 carrying, or if it's as bad as Cryofreeze, because Cryofreeze was absolutely the worst at carrying you on round 50, whereas Deadwire made it seem freaking easy. And then throughout the entire process, we're gonna be testing it out against special enemies here and there, seeing if we can, catch manglers, mimics, and stuff on fire and see the damage it can do to those kind of as they spawn in. All right, so there we finally got a mangler to spawn, and as you can see, it does catch it on fire. It took me quite a few attempts. I was starting to think it wasn't working, especially after, the whole game I just did where it wasn't working. But no, we actually were able to catch an elite on fire. Not a huge buff there. It's not going to help you too much. But, kind of nice, be able to, catch a mangler mimic on fire, do additional damage to it. It's not like, manglers or mimics. They really aren't that hard to kill at the end of the day. It's not like being able to catch an elite on fire, but still a cool little piece of this ability can do now. Another quick thing to note is this kind of max tier reactive camo kind of fits really well with Blast Furnace. Catching zombies on fire with this almost lava-like camo is pretty fun, pretty cool. And the combination itself might be a little goofy, but it works pretty well with Blast Furnace. All right, but now we're up here in the camping spot, and we're going to see how well this ability works while camping. I'm honestly really curious about this test because, like I said, when the game first came out, this was the go-to ammo mod to use if you were grinding Dark Aether because it didn't take your kills. And this was before Cryofreeze got its big buff, and honestly, it worked pretty well at what it did. It helps you kill the zombies a little bit quicker because it does do that initial damage, and on top of that, it did tick damage to zombies over time. And it didn't take your kills, allowing you to get all headshot kills. However, then we all know Cryofreeze got a pretty hefty buff, and with the Cryofreeze buff, this kind of got forgotten about. Oh, look, stuck mangler. Oh, and we caught him on fire. Let's see. I mean, that's doing a decent amount of damage to him. Then again, it's only around 18. This is probably one of the lamest part of the abilities because I hate when things only affect specials because it's cool. It's cool to be able to turn specials, and it's cool to be able to do extra damage to specials. But, I mean, there's really only 3 specials in the game. You've got the Tempest, you got the Mangler, and the Mimic. And let's be real, they're all pretty easy to kill. I'm not too worried about any ability I have doing more damage to them. I would way rather have a little bit additional damage to elites where it actually kind of matters. And it's not like you could say that BOP because Deadwire does that, and Deadwire deals massive damage to all elites. Deadwire can pretty much insta-kill any elite in the game right now with 1 activation, whereas this ability takes a little bit to kill a special zombie. So a little bit of balancing on that regard would be kind of nice, allowing this to do, more damage to elites and stuff. So camping up here, you can definitely notice it. It definitely helps you out a ton, and it's actually really helpful. I'm not trying to downplay like, oh, this is a super bad ability. It's just you compare this to camping up here with Cryofreeze, and it doesn't compare to Cryofreeze at all. Cryofreeze not only slows down the enemy, it allows you to do that additional 25%, and that 25% stacks with, your weapon pack, it stacks with Deadshot, it stacks with all these other things, making that 25 additional percent a lot of extra percent. Whereas, yes, this does do a lot of damage when it activates. It does, I think, 10% on the initial hit, and then after that, it does tick damage for more percentage of damage, but that 25% just being stacked on top of a critical hit on all that other stuff, you can definitely notice that Cryofreeze just does everything that this does, but better when it comes to camping and getting headshots. But with that, let's go ahead and let's test this kind of training up and shooting into hordes of zombies and see what effect that has while using this. All right, so we got a bunch of zombies trained up. Let's go ahead and activate 1 shot into the zombies. And as you can see, we got the burning effect. However, for this to work properly, you got to kill the zombie, and we just activated Deadwire. All right, so we got to train the zombies. Let's go ahead and just start shooting into them. If we kill one of them with the fire effect, it'll catch more of them on fire. This isn't going to work quite like Deadwire where, you just shoot into the horde once and all of a sudden a bunch of zombies dies. This is more of the type of thing where you shoot into the zombies until you activate the fire effect. That fire zombie dies, then catching 5 more zombies on fire and then inflicting damage to them. We do have elemental pop. The reason I do use elemental pop for these tests, even though it does activate the other effects, is because it reduces the time it takes to activate the effect that we're trying to test. And I want to test it at its max potential, so that does involve using elemental pop. You just got to kind of pay attention to what effects are being active. And I mean, as for training zombies, I mean, it's helpful and it definitely helps weaken the horde a little bit. But you can tell when we activate, you know, turned, or we activate dead wire or something like that, those effects we're activating are doing a lot more damage than what the blast furnace effect is doing. So we're back on round 50 for the second time for this video, but this time we're using the correct ammo mod. We're using tier 5, and let's see how effective this is. Keep in mind, this is a max packed weapon with a, you know, orange tier kind of rarity to it, so it is definitely slaying through the zombies. And you know what, we should probably go down so we're not using elemental pop. I want to see the full effect of just this ammo mod, so let's go ahead, go down, and of course we kept let's go down again. Oh no, of course we've got to. Okay, almost accidentally bought it again after getting all of that work to get rid of it. So let's go ahead, put it to this test. There are really only 2 ammo mods in the entire game that can really pass this test, that being Shatter Blast, Deadwire. Turn can almost pass it. The only, you know, ammo mod that actually really fails this test very, very hard is Cryofreeze. Cryofreeze absolutely sucks at this particular test. Doing it with the, you know, max packed weapon, it's not doing too bad of a job. It is killing the zombies pretty quick, but we need to go ahead, stop relying on the clutch, and get rid of this weapon and try it with a random wall weapon. All right, so we bought an AK-7 for you off the wall, just kind of the generic tier. Let's go ahead and, oh crap, I forgot, I've got to freaking turn power on. Rip. All right, now we're back with power on, so we're able to go ahead and put on Napalm Burst, and let's see if we can put it to the test that very few ammo mods are able to fare. Like I said, even Cryofreeze, one of my favorite ammo mods that I think is one of the best in the game, it does not do very good when you do this with it, and it does not seem we're activating the effect, but look at the zombies' health. Actually, when the fire does affect it, it does do a decent amount of zombies. I don't think it's actually going to kill them. I mean, it killed one of them, but no, it's still not doing a very large amount of damage. Completing all of round 50 with this weapon right here would take a very, very long time. 100% doable. You could do it, but you'd be here for a while, and if, you know, you slapped on, you know, Shatter Blast, or you slapped on Deadwire, you complete it a lot quicker than what you would with this ammo mod or what you would with Cryofreeze, because you're like, it's just the effect doesn't do enough damage by itself. It is, I mean, it's chipping away. It's possible. You could. You'd have to be kind of crazy. At this point, I'd, you know, slap on Deadwire, Shatter Blast, go through this round a little bit quicker, rely on a wonder weapon, because yeah, I'm gonna give it a fail on the round 50 unpack a punch basic tier weapon test. So yeah, boys, that is gonna be the full review of Napalm Blast. I'm gonna give it a pass. I really don't see any scenario where I'd rather use Napalm Blast than anything else. To me, it feels just like Shatter Blast. Shatter Blast isn't necessarily bad, it's just really there's no reason to use Shatter Blast over Deadwire, just as there's really no reason to use this over Cryofreeze. It really doesn't do anything that Cryofreeze doesn't do. And the boss that this does extra elemental damage to is a boss that's already really easy to kill. You can kill the Mangler pretty much easily with any weapon by shooting its critical weakness spot, so having it be extra effective to Manglers isn't really super helpful either. I'd rather have something that deals extra damage to Megatons, you know, Panzers. It's definitely the least talked about ammo mod. I never hear anyone even mention Napalm Burst, and that's because I really do think it's probably the single worst ammo mod in the entire game. Not saying it's bad, it's just there's nothing this thing does that would be beneficial for you to personally use, which is a little bit sad, because if you guys played Black Ops 3, you know Blast Furnace was one of the best ammo mods in that game for such a long period of time. I know once Deadwire got a buff in Black Ops 3, Deadwire kind of took over Blast Furnace, but Blast Furnace for the longest time was the go-to ammo mod. Blast Furnace would carry you to a high round, killing hordes and hordes of zombies at a time, and Blast Furnace in this game definitely doesn't do Blast Furnace justice. And I definitely hope we see some buffs to some of the weaker ammo mods in this game. Instead of them nerfing Deadwire, nerfing, you know, the go-to ammo mods, they should really buff Napalm Burst, make it a little bit better, make it have some reason to use. Same thing with Shatter Blast. I definitely think these two ammo mods, they both need a little bit of love to put them on par with the other ones in this game. But with that, boys, I'm gonna end the Napalm Burst review. What are your guys' opinions? Do you guys love Napalm Burst? Do you use it all the time? Do you think it's the best ammo mod and I'm wrong? Definitely tell me below if you think that. But with that, boys, we're gonna go ahead and end this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.